All Scarlet Violet holiday sets rank from worst to best. So today we're going to be discussing pretty much a sequel of my other video where I talked about all the main sets, but we're going to be talking about the most investable from worst to best. So we're talking about three factors. We're going to be talking about the market value of the cards. We're going to be looking at the reprint status and the box price. We're going to be going based off booster bundles. I feel like it's the most fair. But guys, if I'm being honest, I feel like this video is going to catch some slack. You guys are not going to be able to predict this list. You guys are going to be absolutely shocked. Walking out of this, I feel like a lot of you guys, I'm going to get some slack in the comment. This might be one of my most disliked videos because we're going to be talking about some controversial stuff here, but it needs to be talked about. So without further ado, let's begin. Alrighty, number 6 is Shroud of Fable, $50 a booster bundle. Now, this set isn't horrible. I think it has a lot of potential, especially with the Persian. Now, I just want to say with these worse sets, I'm going to talk about them less because the next couple of sets, I have to explain my points and my reasoning towards it. So I'm going to make it quick with Shroud of Fable. Shroud of Fable, I just feel like it's one of those sets with some potential, right? You've got the Persian inside. The Persian is very similar to the Espeon VMAX from Fusion Strike, where it is almost like completing Team Rocket, right? You've got Destined Rivals, and it didn't have a Persian inside, so you've got this Persian, which kind of completes it. Now, I think this is going to do really, really well. So this is what I think is going to happen with Shroud of Fable. I think it's going to get short printed, because there's no point printing more of it, and then it's going to, then after that, the Persian is going to go up and do really, really well. However, that is all speculation, and that is all basing something off of an if. All these other sets actually have something to show for it, even the worst of the worst. The thing about Shroud of Fable is this is all going based off an if, in my opinion. I was buying up Shroud of Fable Elite Trainer boxes cases at $300 a case when they were at 5 sold. Sealed ETB cases. I don't hold any more sealed cases anymore. I don't really hold any Shroud of Fable. I've liquidated all my positions. Did quite well with that, but yeah, I'm not really a fan of Shroud of Fable or whole time. So yeah, anyways, number 5 is White Flare. So White Flare is basically the shadow of Black Ball. It is the same price as Shroud of Fable booster bundles. It is $50 a booster bundle. So the entry is actually really, really solid. However, Black Ball is kind of just better. Like, the White Flare just isn't really as good. The main dark new ultra rare rarity, the Victini is worth less in the White Flare one. The Reshiram is worth less than the Zekrom, and the Chasers inside, it just doesn't have as much set value. It's not as good, and people generally lean towards more Zekrom. Generally, whenever it comes to dragons or cool looking big beasts, people generally steer towards darker ones like Zekrom, because it's a darker color. A lot of people generally lean towards that rather than light. Usually light is used for good guys, and people, I don't know, usually whenever they like characters, they usually like the bad guys like Team Rocket, Mewtwo. So I don't really feel like White Flare has that potential, and the fact that they're pretty much the same price anyways just is sort of silly in my opinion. So I'm not really investing in White Flare. I don't think it's that good to invest in. You'll do well if you own it, absolutely, but I feel like these other ones are sort of just better to own. But that brings us to number 4. Number 4 at 102 a booster bundle is 151. I'm gonna get a lot of slack. I'm gonna get a lot of dislikes for this. I'm gonna get absolutely roasted in the comments section. I believe 151 has reached the point where if you can get 2 Black Ball booster bundles for 151, I believe Black Ball is a better buy than that. Okay, so let's just quickly look at 151. I think it's a phenomenal set. Yeah, we all get that. Okay, cool. We will understand that. Let's not waste pointless retention talking about that. Let's talk about something more important. All right, let's look at some past data. Let's look at Fusion Strike, Lost Origin. Let's look at some other older Sword and Shield boxes, right? A lot of the time, if you've got a booster box, there's usually a debate where it's like, should you buy Lost Origin at 130 USD a booster box versus Silver Tempest at $100 a booster box? That's a big debate. Or would you buy Brilliant Stars at, I don't know, 150 or Chilling Reign at 180? Or, debates like that. The difference with this is it is literally, would you buy a 151 booster bundle for $102 or Black Ball for $50? You get 2 Black Ball booster bundles. And you don't see this commonly. Usually the debate is should you buy 10 of a worse set or 7 of a really good set? Destined Rivals is a great example. People say to me, Sam, should I buy Destined Rivals? Dude, Destined Rivals is 411 USD. Paradox Rift is 300 USD. Destined Rivals is 25% more. Are you kidding me? That is the equivalent of a booster box. Instead of being $100 on TCG Player, it's $125. And you're questioning, should I buy Destined Rivals? Insanity. So that's kind of my mentality, right? That's the way I see it. However, this is a $50 booster bundle versus a $100 booster bundle. And also, Black Ball just has more set value, it has more chasers, the ports are harder, it has more heat inside, it has more popular artists. I think it's better. So, well, okay, hold up. I don't think it's better, but I think it's better to own two of it. Now, I think short term you're going to do really, really well with 151. I think you do absolutely phenomenal. But Black Bolt, dude, it's like it's $50 a booster bundle. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely redonkulous. I do not think it's going to hold that price for a while. And when I say a while, I mean like 6 to 12 months. I think after like a year, people are going to look back at Black Bolt, or maybe like 2 years. I'd say 2 years. People are going to look back at Black Bolt and think like, shit, I really should have bought it. Here's the thing, this is something I've said about a lot. I really, really love Black Bolt and White Flare. I've talked really highly of them as a pair. I do prefer Black Bolt though. And I've talked really highly of them from day one when they came out. I've talked highly of them. And people have said to me, they've said, Sam, this is the thing about Black Bolt White Flare. It's not that investable because it only tailors towards Gen 5 fans. They say that Gen 5 fans, there's not a lot of them. Yeah, sure, they're a hardcore fan base, but there's not a lot of them. It's not the largest, most popular Pokemon out there. Now, here's my response. My response is that it is only one set. You're only investing in Black Bolt. There's nothing else for them to absorb. Oh, Black Bolt and White Flare, right? You've only got, realistically, one set, or two sets, but let's just say one set. You've only got one set for them to invest in. It's not a whole ton. It's not hard to eat up that supply, okay? This is the thing. If they made an entire era over Black and White, if they did an entire remake, then I would go like, okay, that's a bit much, Pokemon. Hold your horses. But it's only one set. So it's not really a lot for them to absorb. And you need to ask yourself, you need to ask that if the fan base is hardcore enough, it doesn't matter how large it is, they'll eat up the supply. If you have 10 massive fans that will spend $10,000 on the set versus a million low-key fans that will spend barely any on the set, well, you can do better with a small fan base, but more hardcore, right? So yeah, that's my mentality with that. I just think that Black Ball is so good. Now, I'm going to quickly shift from 151. I think 151 is really, really solid, but it's... I don't know, I love 151, but man, it is just so expensive, the booster bundles, and the fact that Black Ball is half the price is just amazing. Anyways, so that pretty much brings us to number 3, which is just Black Bolt. It has difficult pull rates, and this is a big reason why I'm leaning towards Black Bolt versus White Flare, is Black Bolt has a Shinji Kanda artwork, and also has the, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the Bubble Mew. It has the artwork from the dude who made the Bubble Mew. And we're seeing a big thing with this bull market is that a lot of things that go up in patterns, right? Like all Sword Shield boxes go up, or all Sun and Moon boxes go up, or all cards from a specific artist go up, right? So we're seeing that happen a lot. And we saw that with Shinji Kanda. We saw the Roaring Moon absolutely send it purely because it's Shinji Kanda. And we're seeing a lot of Shinji Kanda artworks do really, really phenomenal. Now, you have the Giratina, which has aged so finely. It's aged amazing. And then you have the Magikarp, the sequel, aging so amazing. So because these cards have aged so damn amazing, people have just gone ahead and gone, all right, stuff it. Whatever Shinji Kanda artwork there is, I'm just going to buy it. So they've bought the Magnetone, they've bought the Roaring Moon, and the Seismitoad. The Seismitoad is the kind of card where it's not amazing, but it's a Shinji Kanda artwork, right? I think that pretty much just explains Shinji Kanda as a whole. The Phantasmal Flames UPC, I mean, it wasn't announced that there was a Shinji Kanda artwork, but the second it was like announced, like the second it came out, there was going to be a Shinji Kanda artwork. Holy crap, the hype for that practically doubled overnight. So the Bubble Mew is the exact same thing. The Bubble Mew is extremely influential. Now, here's the thing. The artist for the Bubble Mew he has a card in the Black Bolt White Flare, and here's the thing that is very interesting about that is that this card is almost like the Giratina, right? It's the start of a really, really promising career for this artist. So what I think is going to happen is his early artworks are going to do really, really well. Now, Solasis or Solicilus, however it's pronounced, not really the most popular Pokemon out there, but then you look at a card like Roaring Moon, not exactly the most popular Pokemon out there. Yeah, it's like a, $300 card, $200 card, $250, whatever it is, purely because it's made by the artist. So that gets to a certain point where the artist is loved so much that it doesn't really matter what the card is. If it has that artist, it just naturally gains hype. So then you need to ask yourself, if it has a Shinji Kanda artwork and the artist of who made this card, if it has both of those, that's already really convincing right there. Then you've got the Victini. Then you got the Zekrom. Then you got the Zekrom SIR. And then you got all these other cards inside that are really, really solid. Then here's the thing about all the other cards is it's a very similar situation with Palderevold. You see, Palderevold is a very it's a very interesting set because when it came out, the Magikarp was like 20 bucks. But here's the thing with Paldea Evolved, and this is why it succeeded in my opinion, because it was a bit of a spray and pray set. You see, with Paldea Evolved, it was basically, hey, we're going to make a shit ton of artworks, a couple of them are going to take off. And you know what? I respect it. That's a great way to do things. Just try a bunch of things and one or two of them will take off. That's what happened with Paldea Evolved, right? It's done absolutely amazing because a couple have taken off. The Raichu, the Tyranitar, the Magikarp, they've done really, really well. So I think Black Ball has the same fate, right? Originally, it didn't look that amazing, but then the Seismitoad rose up, and then the Solstice, or however it's pronounced, rose up. And we might see some other cards in the future also rise. I think that naturally will make the set even more investable in the future, right? Like Black Ball is already incredibly investable now, but dude, in the future, it's going to be way more investable. And you know what? In my next coming videos, guys, I don't want to give you a bit of a sneak peek on what November is going to be looking at, like the buys for November, because dude, it's only like the 7th of October. However, well, it's not the 7th of October. Is it? No, yeah, I guess it is the 7th of October. It's not even the 7th, well, it is the 7th of October, and so we're not even close to November finishing, but mate, I'm already working on a list for the buys for November, and yeah, the Black Ball is gonna get a feature, multiple features maybe. We'll see how it does during then. But yeah, make sure to stay tuned for that in the next coming weeks because that video is going to be absolutely amazing. I love making those what to buy videos in every single start of a month. But anyways, Black Ball is incredibly investable. I'm using up so much time talking about Black Ball, and I need to hurry up with the other stuff. Alright, number 2, which is Paldean Fates. Paldean Fates and Black Ball, can't believe I'm saying this, they're kind of tied. Paldean Fates is a phenomenal set. I love it. At the same time, Black Ball is really good. And you need to ask yourself that age-old question, is it worth buying 2 Black Ball White Flare booster bundles, or is it worth buying 1 Paldean Fates? I can't answer that. No one can answer that. No one can realistically answer that. Everyone can have their own speculation on why they think they're correct, but the only true answer will be revealed in time. However, if you're investing in Black Ball because of the Booger Mew, which is what they call it. I hate that it's been pumped. It's so dumb. But anyways, because that card has been pumped, it makes you question, what's the longevity of the Bubble Mew? I've said this for months now, months and months and months. I said, guys, buy up Paldean Fates. The Bubble Mew is gorgeous. And now the Bubble Mew is so good and is such a cool card that we're actually seeing ripples of its popularity into other artworks made by the same artist. Now, if that doesn't scream absolute, like, investable, phenomenal, like, you want to buy up the original, like, box from the artist's first artwork, dude, Paldean Fates is where it's at. That's why I'm moving towards Paldean Fates a little bit more than Black Ball, is because the Bubble Mew is so good, it's making other cards go up. And you've got to remember, Paldean Fates is not even out of rotation yet. That's the thing. So people saying, like, oh, Sam, should I sell my Blooming Waters? I'm like, whoa, 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 hold the horses, guys. Not even out of rotation yet. Wait a couple years for it to go out of rotation. I have 4 sealed displays of Paldean Fates. I have 70 loose bundles. I have 8 ETBs, some text sticker displays, some other stuff. I forget. I have some other stuff though. I have a bunch of Paldean Fates. I'm so invested in it. Will I take profit now? No. I'll probably take profit in a couple of years. I'll probably sell maybe 1 or 2 sealed displays, maybe 20, 30, 40 loose bundles. I'll probably funnel that into Prismatic Skies. We've got like a Lopunny Mega with like an Umbreon and like, I don't know. Oh, a Bubble Mew as well. They'll have a second Bubble Mew where it'll be the identical card, but like with an Umbreon, because why not? That maybe I'd funnel my profits into that set. I mean, it seems like a pretty promising set, but anyways, the point is that I think Paldean Fates has a lot more room to grow. That's why I've put Paldean Fates on number 2, because it is expensive, yet it is quite investable. But that brings us to number 1. Number 1. Man, what will it be? What is number 1? If only I could guess what it's going to be. Prismatic Evolutions. It's pretty obvious it's Prismatic Evolutions. It's always Prismatic Evolutions. So Prismatic Evolutions, this is the thing about Prismatic Evolutions is, would you invest in Prismatic Evolutions booster bundles if it was $100? So I would say yes. I'd say it's incredibly investable to buy Prismatic Evolution booster bundles at $100 USD. I think it's worth it, to be honest. The set is really, really solid. It has a Shinji Kanda artwork inside. It has, you know, God packs and all that. It's really, really good. So the debate is like, should you buy Prismatic Evolution booster bundles at $100, or should you buy Paldean Fates at $100, or should you buy like Black Ball White Flare booster bundles? We can buy 2 Black Ball or 1 Prismatic. Like, what should you do, right? Well, That is not a dimension we have to live in. In the dimension we live in, Prismatic Evolutions is $60 a booster bundle. It is cheap as chips. It is a phenomenal set. And you don't get these moments often, okay? You don't get these moments where a set is so damn investable but so damn cheap. It's a slam dunk, and it's purely because reprints have brought it down. So yeah, you don't even need to ask yourself, should I be buying Prismatic at $100 a boost bundle? Mate, I got good news for you. Save that question for other people. Save that question for people in the future who don't know how to invest properly and jump into things last minute. Save that for people who are going to FOMO in last second. Save that for the people who can't see the vision. Save that for people who don't have patience. Okay? This is something that really, really annoys me, and it just genuinely pisses me off. And there's not many things in this world that does piss me off. I'm a pretty chill person overall, but there's a few things that shouldn't piss me off, but they do. This is one of them, when people jump into something after it's gone up. They say like, hey guys, is buying Prismatic Evolution ETBs at 140 a good buy? This is my answer. My answer is yes. Buying it at that is a good buy. However, it was $100 for about $50 to $60. What the heck were you doing? Why did you not buy it? And this is something that really, really annoys me. Sorry, there's a fly. I do not get flies in this household, so I don't know why I'm seeing a fly. But anyways, that's super random fact. You guys did not need to hear that. I mean, wasn't the most crazy thing out there, but anyways, why do you have to wait till the last minute? And this was something I was genuinely asking in a forum. I was saying, guys, in a Discord server, I was saying, guys, why do you wait? Like, I was genuinely confronting somebody who asked that question. I said, why do you wait? And I think he went offline, so we didn't end up answering it, but someone else answered for him, and he said, you know what? It's most likely procrastination. This guy was explaining that most likely these people already had their eye on it, but this is just the final move that pushed them to it. And they couldn't have been more right. They got it spot on. I think it's procrastination, and it annoys me. It annoys me even though I shouldn't, but it just pisses me off. It's like, dude, it was cheap for so long. So this is where the investing saying comes from, where you will be able to buy the price that you deserve. This stems from Bitcoin, which is very interesting. So basically, Bitcoin is the kind of investment where it goes down by like 60%, and then it goes up by like 300%, and then it crashes to like 80%, and it goes through these massive swings. So naturally what happens is you'll have people in forums ask questions, am I too late? Am I too early? Should I buy now? And this is where this saying stemmed from. You see, the S&P 500 is a little bit different. The S&P 500 usually consistently averages like 8% a year. So it's very safe. It's very, like, it's not that volatile, right? With Bitcoin, because it's so volatile, you've got people who are seasoned investors and have been there for 5+ years, and they just cruise along. And then you got new people saying like, oh my gosh, am I too late? And then it's like, you know, come on, man, you knew what Bitcoin was for years on end. So this is where the saying comes from. You get the price of Bitcoin that you deserve. Same thing goes for Pokemon. You get to buy the booster bundle at the price you deserve. You know why? Because you always knew about Prismatic Evolutions. This saying does not work for an investment that you didn't really know. It's not fair to talk about this if you're talking about like Rolexes, and none of us on this channel invest in Rolexes, or like, I don't know, say like none of us invest in like a specific mineral, like some like platinum or something. I don't even know if that even is a specific mineral. I don't know if that's just like a league in Rocket League, or if that's like a real mineral, but anyways, unless it's like a really unknown investment, if you knew what it was, aka Prismatic Evolutions, and you're guessing, hey guys, should I buy Prismatic Evolutions at $140 in Elite Trainer Box? Dude, it was $100. You knew it was investable. You knew you should have bought it. Why did you not buy it? And then that's where it stems from. You get to buy Prismatic Evolution ETBs at the price you deserve. And it stems from Bitcoin because most people know what Bitcoin is. And then every single person gets to ask themselves, will I buy this? And they get to break it down. Maybe they do want to do research, maybe not. Doesn't really matter. Not really the point of the video. The point is that it stems from that because everybody in said space knew what it was. Same thing goes for Prismatic. So if you're going to be asking yourself, should I buy it at $100? This price point is the price point that people are going to be spewing that they didn't buy at. This price point is the price that people are going to be wishing they could go back on. You know, right now, we are all in this moment where people would pay thousands and thousands of dollars to be at this specific timeline right now to invest in Prismatic Evolution. Booster bundles. What can I say? I've said everything I need to say. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching.